Hello, happy people. This is Mr. Wilcox, and this lesson is for Algebra 1 and functions. In class, we've talked about what an expression is and plugged in a number, what an equation is, then we plugged in a number. Today, we're going to talk about functions, and then next time, we're going to plug in numbers. So before we talk about what a function is, first I want to remind you what an ordered pair is. For an ordered pair, we have two numbers. We have the x-coordinate and the y-coordinate, and we always write them x-coordinate, then y-coordinate, and we write them in parentheses. So examples of this would be like the point for -3, the point 2, 1, and the point 0, are all written with an x-coordinate, then a y-coordinate. And why those come into play today is because our simplest definition of a function is just a set of points, and our set of ordered pairs in a way that we do not share any x-coordinates. So no two pairs have the same x-coordinates. The definition is that there is one and only one x for every y. So our example here is the function that has the point 1, 4, 2, 5, and 3, 6. A simple way to remember this is a function is like a friend. You should not share x's. So basically what a function is it's like a mathematical machine where you plug something in and you get something out. So for these points, we're plugging in an x-coordinate and we're getting out a y-coordinate and making sure that all our x's are different, because if you put something in the machine, you should only be able to get one thing out. So if I put in a 1, I will always get a 4. If I put in a 2 in this machine, I'll always get a 5. Put in a 3, I'll always get a 6. If I added another point where it was like 3 and 7, then the machine wouldn't know what to do when I put in a 3. So that's why we can have only one x, because whenever we put something in, we should always get one thing out. All right, so function doesn't share x's. It's a machine. You get something in, you get something out. And again, the simplest example is ordered pairs. Function consists of something called a domain and a range, and that is what we are going to talk about next. So the domain is what we put into the function. So what we put in a machine comes from the domain, and for our purposes, it's the x-coordinate of an ordered pair. It's going to be the x part of an equation. So the x part is what we put in, so that is part of the domain. What we get out of the machine, or the y-coordinate, or the y in an equation, is called the output, or it's part of the range. So we put in a number from the domain, get a number out from the range in this mathematical machine called a function. So that brings us to our first example. Our first example, we're going to tell what the domain and range are for this function. First of all, is it a function? Let's make sure that it doesn't share any x's. It does not. So now we can list our domain and range. So our domain is going to be whatever numbers we put in. And remember, we always put our x's in and get our y's out. So our domain is our x's, 2, 5, 7, and 8. And then our range is going to be what we get out, or our y's. So we get 14, 35, 49, and 56 out. So we put these numbers in, 2, 5, 7, and 8. Out pops 14, 35, 49, and 56. So what we put in is our domain. What we get out is our range. All right, the next thing we're going to do is tell whether each pairing is a function. Remember, a function can't share inputs, can't share x's. So our first example, we have 3, 5, and 7. 3 goes to 2, 5 goes to 6, 7 goes to 9. So when I put in 3 in my domain, I get out 2 in the range, 5 in the domain, 6 in the range, 7 domain, 9 in the range. So notice all of these x's go to different y's. So none of these x's are shared. So this is a function. All right, for the green one here, our 3 goes to both 2 and 6. So if we put a 3 in the function, it doesn't quite know what to do. Does it go to 2 or go to 6? So because this x is shared, this is not a function. We can share y's, but we cannot share x's. So if I put in 3 and it went to 2 and 5 and it goes to 2, that's okay because it knows what to do when I plug in 3 and 5. But now my machine would get stuck. It wouldn't know to put out 2 or to put out 6 when I put in 3. So this is not a function. All right, guys, so that was a quick run through of our function lesson. Your homework is on page 38 through 10. There is a picture of page 38 on Brightspace under assignments in case you forgot your book. And don't forget to be checking Brightspace for your activity feed to know what you should be doing on your virtual days as well. So have a great day, Cardinals, and make it count.